This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 1741, How to Live Life with No Regrets, by FIRECracker of Millennial-Revolution.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. Now let's get right into today's post and continue optimizing your life. How to Live Life with No Regrets, by FIRECracker of Millennial-Revolution.com. Quote, "Sometimes life hits you in the head with a brick." Steve Jobs. I never truly understood the meaning of those words until now. Recently, a friend who'd been tested for a serious genetic disorder noticed Wanderer has the same physical traits. This genetic disorder weakens your heart and blood vessels, causing them to eventually rupture. It's a life-threatening disease with no cure, and the condition worsens as you age. Left untreated, the life expectancy is only 40 years old. And if this test comes back positive, there's a 50% chance we will pass it on if we have kids. I spent last night lying awake, staring at the ceiling. A million excuses ran through my head. A million excuses to convince myself why he couldn't possibly have that horrible disease. But when morning came, I came to the cold realization that I couldn't pretend anymore. We had to get him checked out. And so while we wait in shitty suspense, I want to tell you this: don't waste your life. Your fancy car, your expensive house, your prestigious job, none of that matters when you die. The only thing that matters is living a life with no regrets. And the only way to do that is to live a life you choose, not someone else's. Because this is what I realized as I lay awake at night, unable to sleep. According to a palliative nurse, the top 5 regrets of the dying are, quote, "I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me," end quote. Your deathbed is where you see how many of your dreams have gone unfulfilled. And realizing you haven't honored even half of these dreams is the hardest of all. And that's why Wanderer and I are grateful we realized all of our dreams. Quote, "I wish I hadn't worked so hard," end quote. After leaving the rat race, we realized how much of our lives would have been thrown away had we continued running that rat wheel. Now that there's a real chance that Wanderer could have a life-threatening disease, I'm so glad we aren't doing that anymore. I don't miss a single second of work. Quote, "I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings," end quote. One of the best parts of becoming financially independent is the ability to be 100% authentic. We didn't have to give in to banks and promote their shitty mutual funds to make money. We didn't have to tone down our voice to appease advertisers. We could be our own authentic selves and truly help people rather than keep our feelings bottled up. Quote, "I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends," end quote. Back when we were running the rat race, when choosing between hanging out with friends or working, we chose working every single time. But now we choose friends instead. Quote, "I wish that I had let myself be happier," end quote. I used to always tell myself I'd be happier if, and if only I had, all the time. But since we retired, those thoughts haven't crossed my mind at all. We're just happy all the time. So even though we could be getting bad news any day now, we know that we've lived this life to the fullest with no regrets. So whatever the test results come out to be, we say, "F them. You're not going to bring us down. Nothing can bring us down." And that's the most powerful thing about financial independence. It frees you up to live a life with no regrets. And we aren't the only ones who benefited from this. One of my early retiree friends, Tom, recently had a scary health issue where he, no joke, went temporarily blind for a few days while on vacation in the Philippines. When he came back, he understandably ran straight to his doctor, who promptly found a tumor in his brain that was cutting off his optic nerve. We were all devastated, as you can imagine. But he just shrugged it off and said, meh, if it's my time to go, it's okay. I've already traveled the world and done everything I've ever wanted to do. No regrets. Luckily, that tumor turned out to be benign. A similar thing happened to our friend Winnie from GoCurryCracker.com. Despite being perfectly healthy, abnormal tissue was found in her cervix, an indicator for cervical cancer. She's my age. As scary as that whole experience was, Winnie ended up getting the surgery to remove the abnormal cell growth and is now completely cancer-free. For those gals who haven't gotten a cervical exam recently, go get one now. But Joe Dominguez, best-selling author of Your Money or Your Life, wasn't so lucky. He died of cancer at the ripe young age of only 58. But even then, when he got the diagnosis, he made quirky cards for his friends that said, Joe Dominguez has been given a clean bill of death. Please direct your attention to the living and to the things that need to be done. His story changed my life and is the main reason why I'm so fascinated with Your Money or Your Life. If you've lived such a kick-ass life that even cancer and death can't scare you, you're basically invincible. But if you're spending all your time working just to make money to pay for expensive houses and things you don't need, to impress people you don't care about, how can you be living a life with no regrets? You can't take any of those things with you when you die. But if you live a life with no regrets, here are the things you can take with you. The knowledge that you've lived a life true to yourself instead of one dictated by someone else. The knowledge that you've accomplished your dreams. The knowledge that you did something good in this world. And the knowledge that you spent your one precious life with the people you love. People who love you for who you are and not the fancy things you can buy them. Now that is a life worth living. You only have one life to live, so live it with no regrets, because you never know how much time you have left. You just listened to the post titled, How to Live Life with No Regrets by FIRECracker of Millennial-Revolution.com. Now, if you've been wanting to donate, check out Charityvest. For no fees on investments for 2022, go to charityvest.org/OFD and give Charityvest your email. They won't spam you. It's just to get you set up for no fees. It's your one place for all of your charitable giving. You can even donate anonymously. Plus, donating appreciated assets like stock and crypto is now easy and has big tax advantages. Once your donation is complete, the cash value will be added to your fund, and you can reinvest it to grow tax-free or send it to any charity at any time. Charityvest is the lowest fee donor-advised fund ever, free to get started. You can open an account and support charities for free. You are only charged any fees when you invest the money in your account. Our team here at OFD found it super easy to sign up, contribute, and grant to a charity, and we could even get big tax savings by donating assets. For no fees on investments for 2022, go to charityvest.org/OFD and give Charityvest your email. They won't spam you. It's just to get you set up for no fees. That's charityvest.org/OFD. I really loved this article. It's just so important to live life with no regrets. And while I agree that financial independence opens up that opportunity, you still have to seize it. You still have to have the courage to go on the big adventure, start the business, have the hard conversations, and do the necessary soul searching that needs to be done in order to not live with regrets. I know plenty of financially independent and retired people who still let fear drive their decisions, who despite having more money than they need, still won't choose to push outside their comfort zone. As Ayn Rand so wisely said, money is only a tool. It will take you wherever you wish, but it won't replace you as the driver, end quote. You have to choose to actually use the tool in order to live a life with no regrets. I'll also point out that you don't have to wait until financial independence to live this way. I think one of the main benefits of financial independence is that it gives you full autonomy over your time. But you can get this much sooner if you're able to take the leap to self-employment. I did this in January this year, and I have absolutely no regrets. While I still need to earn an income, I've reached Coast-Fi status, which means that I have enough in my retirement accounts now that they will grow to what I need in traditional retirement in 30 years. So I have less pressure to save and invest. And because my expenses are so low, I'm able to be really picky about what I do to earn the small amount of money I need to cover my yearly expenses. My life already looks how I would want it to if I was actually financially independent, because I have full autonomy over my time. And that should do it for today. Have a happy rest of your day, and I'll see you on the Thursday show tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.